Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Estrangement from God. Ratio of the length of the side opposite the given angle to the length of the hypotenuse of a right-angled triangle. Commit a faux pas or a fault or make a serious mistake. An act that is regarded by theologians as a transgression of God's will. Commit a sin. Violate a law of God or a moral law. Akkadian, god of the moon. Counterpart of Sumerian Nana. The 21st letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Estrangement from God. Estrangement from God. Morally objectionable behavior. Absence of moral or spiritual values. The quality of being disgusting to the senses or emotions. The quality of being wicked. Ratio of the length of the side opposite the given angle to the length of the hypotenuse of a right-angled triangle. Commit a faux pas or a fault or make a serious mistake. I blundered during the job interview. Utter impulsively. He blundered his stupid ideas. An embarrassing mistake. Make one's way clumsily or blindly. Commit a faux pas or a fault or make a serious mistake. Either of two soft fleshy milk secreting glandular organs on the chest of a woman. An ignorant or foolish person. Commit a faux pas or a fault or make a serious mistake. Commit a faux pas or a fault or make a serious mistake. A man who is a stupid, incompetent fool. A person who amuses others by ridiculous behavior. An act that is regarded by theologians as a transgression of God's will. Transgressing a moral or divine law. If it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most sinning soul alive. Act in disregard of laws, rules, contracts, or promises. Pass beyond limits or boundaries. Commit a sin. Violate a law of God or a moral law. Spread over land, especially along a subsiding shoreline. The sea transgresses along the west coast of the island. Make excessive use of. She is trespassing upon my privacy. Pass beyond limits or boundaries. Commit a sin. Violate a law of God or a moral law. Enter unlawfully on someone's property. Don't trespass on my land. Entry to another's property without right or permission. A wrongful interference with the possession of property, personal property as well as realty, or the action instituted to recover damages. Break the law. Failure to adhere to moral principles. Forgave us our sins and cleansed us of all unrighteousness. Function of an angle expressed as a ratio of the length of the sides of right-angled triangle containing the angle. Function of an angle expressed as a ratio of the length of the sides of right-angled triangle containing the angle. Tennis. A score consisting of winning a game when your opponent was serving. He was up 2 breaks in the second set. Breaking of hard tissue such as bone. The break seems to have been caused by a fall. Enter someone's virtual or real property in an unauthorized manner, usually with the intent to steal or commit a violent act. Be released or become known of news. Fail to agree with, be in violation of, as of rules or patterns. An act of delaying or interrupting the continuity. It was presented without commercial breaks. Lessen in force or effect. Break a fall. An escape from jail. The breakout was carefully planned. Interrupt a continued activity. Force out or release suddenly and often violently something pent up. Break into tears. Any frame in which a bowler fails to make a strike or spare. The break in the 8th frame cost him the match. Go to pieces. Ruin completely. Act in disregard of laws, rules, contracts, or promises. Break a law. Become fractured. Break or crack on the surface only. Do a break dance. Kids were break dancing at the street corner. Prevent completion. Break off the negotiations. Become separated into pieces or fragments. Make known to the public information that was previously known only to a few people or that was meant to be kept a secret. Terminate. Break a lucky streak. Surpass in excellence. Break a record. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The act of breaking something. The breakage was unavoidable. Happen. Break down, literally or metaphorically. A pause from doing something, as work. We took a 10-minute break. Stop operating or functioning. Fracture a bone of. Reduce to bankruptcy. My daughter's fancy wedding is going to break me. Assign to a lower position. Reduce in rank. Geology. A crack in the Earth's crust resulting from the displacement of one side with respect to the other. Break a piece from a whole. Break a branch from a tree. Make submissive, obedient, or useful. The horse was tough to break. A time interval during which there is a temporary cessation of something. Move away or escape suddenly. Nobody can break out. This prison is high security. A personal or social separation, as between opposing factions. They hoped to avoid a break in relations. Some abrupt occurrence that interrupts an ongoing activity. There was a break in the action when a player was hurt. Destroy the completeness of a set of related items. The book dealer would not break the set. Cease an action temporarily. Let's break for lunch. An unexpected piece of good luck. He finally got his big break. An abrupt change in the tone or register of the voice, as at puberty or due to emotion. Then there was a break in her voice. A sudden dash. He made a break for the open door. Be broken in. If the new teacher won't break, we'll add some stress. Become punctured or penetrated. Cause the failure or ruin of. This play will either make or break the playwright. Cause to give up a habit. Change direction suddenly. Change suddenly from one tone quality or register to another. Come forth or begin from a state of latency. Come into being. come to an end. Crack. Of the male voice in puberty. His voice is breaking, he should no longer sing in the choir. Curl over and fall apart in surf or foam, of waves. Destroy the integrity of, usually by force, cause to separate into pieces or fragments. Diminish or discontinue abruptly. Emerge from the surface of a body of water. Exchange for smaller units of money. I had to break a $100 bill just to buy the candy. Fall sharply. Find a flaw in. Break an alibi. Find the solution or key to. Break the code. Give up. Break cigarette smoking. Happen or take place. Things have been breaking pretty well for us in the past few months. Interrupt the flow of current in. Break a circuit. Invalidate by judicial action. Make a rupture in the ranks of the enemy or one's own by quitting or fleeing. Make the opening shot that scatters the balls. Pierce or penetrate. Render inoperable or ineffective. Scatter or part. Separate from a clinch, in boxing. The occurrence of breaking. The break in the dam threatened the valley. The opening shot that scatters the balls in billiards or pool. Undergo breaking. Vary or interrupt a uniformity or continuity. Weaken or destroy in spirit or body. Act in disregard of laws, rules, contracts, or promises. A personal or social separation, as between opposing factions. Make an opening or gap in. A failure to perform some promised act or obligation. An opening, especially a gap in a dike or fortification. Hurt the feelings of. Act in disregard of laws, rules, contracts, or promises. Offend all laws of humanity. Strike with disgust or revulsion. Cause to feel resentment or indignation. Her tactless remark offended me. Fail to agree with. Be in violation of, as of rules or patterns. This sentence violates the rules of syntax. Act in disregard of laws, rules, contracts, or promises. Violate the basic laws or human civilization. Violate the sacred character of a place or language. Violate the sanctity of the church. Destroy and strip of its possession. Force someone to have sex against their will. Destroy. Don't violate my garden. Act in disregard of laws, rules, contracts, or promises. Fail to agree with. Be in violation of, as of rules or patterns. Resist. Act in disregard of laws, rules, contracts, or promises. The act of transgressing. The violation of a law or a duty or moral principle. The act of transgressing. The violation of a law or a duty or moral principle. The boy was punished for the transgressions of his father. The action of going beyond or overstepping some boundary or limit. The spreading of the sea over land is evidenced by the deposition of marine strata over terrestrial strata. The conventional characters of the alphabet used to represent speech. His grandmother taught him his letters. An award earned by participation in a school sport. He won letters in 3 sports. A written message addressed to a person or organization. Mailed an indignant letter to the editor. A strictly literal interpretation, as distinct from the intention. He followed instructions to the letter. Mark letters on or mark with letters. Owner who lets another person use something, housing usually for hire. Set down or print with letters. Win an athletic letter. The conventional characters of the alphabet used to represent speech. The conventional characters of the alphabet used to represent speech. The mark that God set upon Cain now refers to a person's sinful nature. A pardonable sin regarded as entailing only a partial loss of grace. A sin committed of your own free will, as contrasted with original sin. An unpardonable sin entailing a total loss of grace. Move downward and lower, but not necessarily all the way. The barometer is falling. The act of surrendering, usually under agreed conditions. Come into the possession of. When a wrestler's shoulders are forced to the mat. Fall from clouds. Rain, snow and sleet were falling. Lose an upright position suddenly. A sudden decline in strength or number or importance. The fall of the House of Habsburg. Fall or flow in a certain way. Fall to somebody by assignment or lot. A sudden sharp decrease in some quantity. When that became known, the price of their stock went into free fall. A free and rapid descent by the force of gravity. Touch or seem as if touching visually or audibly. Decrease in size, extent, or range. Come as if by falling. A downward slope or bend. The season when the leaves fall from the trees. In the fall of 1973. The time of day immediately following sunset. They finished before the fall of night. A sudden drop from an upright position. Come under, be classified or included. Fall into a category. Be inherited by. A lapse into sin, a loss of innocence or of chastity. A fall from virtue. A movement downward. The rise and fall of the tides. Assume a disappointed or sad expression. Be born, used chiefly of lambs. Be captured. Be cast down. Be due. Payments fall on the first of the month. Begin vigorously. Come out. Issue. Descend in free fall under the influence of gravity. Die, as in battle or in a hunt. Several deer have fallen to the same gun. Drop oneself to a lower or less erect position. Go as if by falling. Lose office or power. Lose one's chastity. A fallen woman. Move in a specified direction. The line of men fall forward. Occur at a specified time or place. Christmas falls on a Monday this year. Pass suddenly and passively into a state of body or mind. Fall into a trap. Slope downward. The hills around here fall towards the ocean. Suffer defeat, failure, or ruin. We must stand or fall. The lapse of mankind into sinfulness because of the sin of Adam and Eve. To be given by assignment or distribution. To be given by right or inheritance. Yield to temptation or sin. An unpardonable sin entailing a total loss of grace. Theologians list 7 mortal sins.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.